recording.
I gave you the download code for Last of Us, so we need to do that. Let's see. We can share play some Mortal Kombat X, because I don't think you've played that at all, right?
No, I've not played the new one at all. I keep eyeing it, and I was like,
we can play it on share play, and you can try it out with me without actually having to buy it. See what I'm saying? You're not utilizing the system, man. What else? Fallout 4 comes out November 10th. I'm trying to figure out if I'm taking a day off from work that day.
I guess let's start this then.
Let's get it popping.
This is episode 18, right?
Hey, before you start, what the heck was Frank yelling at you about?
I don't know. I think he just wanted outside the room. He kept yelling at me. I was like, what do you want? You have food and water right here. And so I let him out the room.
Gotcha.
I think, hold on. I think it is episode 18. Yeah, it is. I think, yeah. All right. Episode 18, guys. Let's get into it. This is Umair, and across the pond, that's not a saying at all in the United States. Across many states is
Young Lloyd, y'all.
Young Lloyd, Cool Johnson.
So,
all right. I guess we should start with, what are you playing right now, Lloyd?
Right now, for the last week, I've been playing Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. You remember I talked about Wasteland 2 probably a couple months back and told you I stopped when I heard they were going to make a Director's Cut, which fixes a lot of things and lots of improvements. And
what does that mean, Director's Cut in video games?
It depends. For a lot of developers, it just means there's content that was cut that they put back in.
So it's what the director of the game initially, just like the movies, initially wanted or had built into the game, and by the publisher was cut out because they deemed it unnecessary or not profitable.
Something like that, but in this, there are actually a bunch of enhancements. So in this game, there's like more voiceovers, more quests, better UI, better animations and interactions within the game. Either way, the game is, I'm enjoying it a lot. So I've been playing.
Crazy that a director's cut would have all that. You would think that would just be a patch on a regular game.
Yeah, well, I think what happened is that while you comb your mustache and beard, that they were making upgrades on the game probably for like a Wasteland 3, and they ported it from whatever platform they were using to the newest Unity, and it allowed them to make a lot of improvements, and it was faster than they thought it would be. So, we got the director's cut. So I've been playing that. I think before I was playing that, I was still playing Metal Gear Solid. I've been playing that Solid for like a month and a half, and still haven't finished it. But I'm going to try to finish those two within the next, I'll try to finish Metal Gear within the next week. Wasteland is a huge game. I'll probably be playing that all the way up until Fallout 4, if I had to guess.
I'm not familiar with the Wasteland world at all. I don't even know what the game's like. I know it's a PC game, right?
Yeah, well, basically, Wasteland was before Fallout. And when Fallout actually is an unofficial kind of sequel to Wasteland, what happened is Wasteland was first, and something about the companies changed and ownership changed in the company. So the people that used to make Wasteland, a lot of them wanted to make a sequel, so they made Fallout. So it's actually very similar to the first couple Fallouts so far as interactivity and.
Is it top isometric view, right?
It is isometric. You can zoom down into more of a third-person view if you want. A lot of the decisions that you make, like whole towns will disappear, or you won't be able to get quests from a town depending on if you help them or not, which is very cool. Because I've read like just to check, I had to choose between saving one town and another town on my way through Arizona trying to fix something. And I just chose one. And the one quest line I went through with the path I chose probably lasted me like 3-4 hours. And from what I read, the other quest line that I didn't get to see from the other town that actually got destroyed by raiders was even longer than that. So, and this game has a huge amount of content. So content, reactivity, like even games like you would think that games now like the Dragon Ages and the Mass Effects would have this kind of reactivity, but they don't. And while this game is graphically inferior to those, it's still not a bad looking game. But I would really like to see this kind of stuff in Dragon Age and Mass Effect, but they've been EAified now, so there's little hope of that happening.
Yeah, it's too indie of a project for EA.
Right.
Anything else you're playing?
Really just Metal Gear. Oh, I played Metal Gear Online. That came out over probably about a week and a half ago.
Okay.
It's surprisingly fun. It plays a lot like the single player. You know, I'm hiding behind walls and people running by me, and I'm subduing them and Fultoning them and shooting them and making them pass out. It plays surprisingly well.
Okay.
I see you've got Devil May Cry Definitive Edition on your dashboard over there. Have you been playing that?
Yeah, dude. Actually, I got tired of Dragon Age Inquisition. I don't even think I'm a third way through. The moment I was like, oh, I think I'm getting somewhere, like a whole new, bigger story pops up. And it's really hard. It's harder than I expected.
Really?
And yeah, I think I just went straight into the missions and didn't do a lot of side missions. So I'm not built up. I'm not leveled up. And I'm getting my ass handed to me, especially by some of the I forget what they're called. They're the green rifts that you have to destroy. Some of them.
Yeah.
And they're kicking my ass. So I was like, I'm kind of frustrated with this. And of course, then
no, you don't have to. You know, a lot of the green rifts you don't have to destroy.
I thought they're part of the story.
They are, but there's only a few of them that are central to the storyline. A lot of the rifts are the side quests, man. Like some of those green rifts get really hard. You don't have to if you stick to the main storyline and just go where they say and stick to your journal, you can ignore most of those. To be honest, most of the rifts.
Oh, that's good to know. Because I was just like, I gotta take care of those rifts because people are suspicious of me because of those rifts.
No,
my character.
You can completely let those go.
All right, good to know. What was the other thing? Hold on, I'm actually going into because I've been kind of juggling a lot of games because I just want to see what's out there. I know we talked about me not really getting into Bayonetta, and then I got Sunset Overdrive. Man, there was no soul to that game. I found it to be very boring. I know it was received all right. There was nothing engaging about the story. I didn't care. Like it was just so self-aware of its over-the-topness that it wasn't even funny. It looks great though. And the thing is, I wanted to jump in on it because nothing about it really sold me on it. But it was made by Insomniac, and I'm a fan of Insomniac games.
Ratchet and Clanks and
yeah, those games are so good, and I like Insomniac's weapon systems that they throw into games. And Sunset Overdrive, just too many useless side missions, and the main missions. I didn't care about the characters, so I stopped playing that after about 3 days. And then
that game was just supposed to be just action and just run around and shoot stuff, and you're actually making it sound like, yeah, that's pretty much what they did. Just run around and shoot stuff, right?
Which is fine if there's a certain level of engagement, but there was a lot of chase side missions. Like, hey, before I give you this thing for your main mission, I need you to get this, this, and this for me from this bad part of town. And I was like, what the hell, man? Those kind of things are not interesting. The only type of games that really pull that off is Grand Theft Auto. And they do get tiring in Grand Theft Auto as well. At least for me. Then Devil May Cry came in. And I remember playing the demo when it was out on the previous generation.
Yep.
The Ninja Theory one is the one I'm talking about. And I like Ninja Theory's games. To me, they're really, really great storytelling and great visuals. And I wasn't impressed with the demo, so I kind of wrote it off because I used to really like the Devil May Cry games back in the PS2 days.
Capcom's?
Yeah. And I gave it a shot again because the definitive edition came out. And man, it's really good, actually.
Man, didn't I tell you it was really good when it was on PS? I had it on PC. Like,
Okay.
I got the PC version instead of the 360 or PS3 version, and I had a good time with it.
I was just so bored with the demo. It felt like it was trying really hard to be kind of this edgy storytelling thing. And then you playing the game from the beginning, you realize where that works. So the demo was a bad promo on their end to entice me. And the game's actually pretty good. I'm enjoying it, and I look forward to other Ninja Theory stuff because they've never let me down, really. And because the first big game was for the PS3, when the PS3 first launched, was Heavenly Sword.
Yep.
And a lot of people dismiss that game. I freaking loved that game. It was really a powerhouse of a game, the way it did presentations, because it looked at the game from the outside, but there would be moments that would really zoom into the characters, and you would see the texture work on their face. It was kind of revolutionary for its time.
Yeah.
And I loved Heavenly Sword. And then they had that Enslaved game, which was highly ignored as well, which was really good.
Yeah, I still need to. That's been on my wish list for years, and I just never got around to it.
Yeah, and surprisingly, it's really short. So you can whiz through it.
That's part of the reason I know I didn't get it off the jump for $60 because I heard it could be beaten like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that short, but it definitely like a Call of Duty level. Like, so like 6 to 8 hours. And it was short. And I really want them to do something more with that IP, the Enslaved IP, because there's more story to be told with what the story setup is. It's really cool. But other than that, nothing else. I'm not playing anything else. I'm enjoying the hell out of Devil May Cry.
Well, you said you're juggling a bunch of games right now. So you're playing Devil May Cry. You're playing a little.
I'm playing a bunch of. Well, by juggling, I mean Dragon Age. I still jump into here and there, because I like going to the war room and assigning the missions to the people.
Yeah.
I forget what game used to do that. I'm blanking on the game right now where you would send a group of people out to do your stuff. Oh, Assassin's Creed 2.
Like Brotherhood.
Yeah. I loved that part of Assassin's Creed.
Speaking of Assassin's Creed.
We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. That's part of the next segment. I know where you're going with this. But yeah, that was one of my favorite parts in the Assassin's Creed franchise, was getting people to really get in on the different projects or buying property and getting value from that. The actual logistics side of it, I thought was fun. But now we can get into Assassin's Creed.
All right. Speaking of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, it
Yeah.
has gotten really good reviews across the board.
I've been watching every single video review for that game, and it looks awesome.
And I'm like, it's actually making me think about, because Unity, I didn't even think about. Like, I'll put it past, and like, I'm normally a year behind on Assassin's Creed, but because of Unity, like, I was in the middle of playing Black Flag and and the expansion to Black Flag when Unity came out, and I just kept playing those because Unity sucked. And then I eventually played Unity, and it did suck. So, but this one, it came out yesterday.
Yeah, which is an odd time for a game to come out, by the way, Friday.
Yeah, I might get it, and I bet when I play it, like besides the missions where I'm forced to play as the big dude, what's I'm thinking about is I may play as Evie more. She seems like a more interesting character.
Yeah,
The sister.
yeah. I watched the GameSpot review for it because they had they gave it a 9 out of 10, and all the other websites were either giving it 8 or 8.5. And I was curious what they were saying, and across the board, it seems like they're saying the grunt work of climbing buildings and running away from stuff, because that could get annoying, especially when you're being chased and you're trying to run away, and you're trying to climb a building, and it's a slow reaction. You have the rope gun in this, kind of like Batman.
Yep.
And you have the rope gun, and you can pretty much get to anywhere you want with that rope gun. You can attack people with the rope gun and attach them to other people, kind of like Just Cause. And so it looks very promising. And I didn't realize this, of watching all the reviews, that people across the board used to say that Assassin's Creed 2 was their favorite one. To me, that's my favorite one, because I remember
it was my favorite one before Black Flag.
Yeah, and I enjoyed Brotherhood too, but Brotherhood it felt like an expansion of 2.
Exactly.
But 3, I really didn't care. And Black Flag, I started playing, but a bunch of other games came into my realm at that time, so I stopped playing that. And I still want to jump back into it because I like the mechanics of it. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about this one. I was actually considering, after all the positive reviews, I was thinking it was going to get a lukewarm reception because they were trying to do something new. But I didn't realize it was actually going to get a really good feedback.
I'm with you. So it's making me think about getting it. Also, in other news, a rumor, there's a slight indication that Halo 5 could come to PC. And if they let you, like with some of their games, if you can play, PC players can play with Xbox One players, there will be absolutely zero reason for me to have an Xbox One, just zero.
Yeah, and Microsoft is really pushing for
stuff.
Inner system or inner Microsoft sphere of play. You know, like where PC gamers can play with Xbox gamers, etc. They've been trying to push that for a while, but I think there's been just internal resistance for that.
And then I wouldn't have to pay for Xbox Live. I mean, and then like in the spring, Killer Instinct is supposed to come to PC. If Killer Instinct and then Halo 5, Dead Rising's already on PC, Dead Rising 3. There's not a whole lot I wanted to play on Xbox One, and those 3, that would do it. I'd be like, I mean, I have a PC. It'd just be like, I'm good.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of exclusives going on for the Xbox, which is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, they used to. I think the damage that happened to them with E3 and the Get Over It Always Online, that was a bigger deal than a lot of people realize. It's because Xbox 360 had the lead. And
oh, for sure, dude. I was like an Xbox loyalist. I was excited about the one. And
I wasn't a loyalist but I mean, I had a PS2, and you know, Sony jacked up with the PS3 with the pricing, so I got a 360 first. All my games were on 360. I got a PS3 Pro.
That's what I mean. Even though I had both systems as well, I played my 360 more because it was a better media system. On top of the fact that most of my friends were on Xbox, so if I did want to play a multiplayer game, it was easier for me to jump on back.
Yeah. So I mean, and then Microsoft got greedy like Sony did the generation before, and it has switched in a big way because PS4 is slaughtering Xbox ownership.
Yeah.
But I understand. Even the head of Microsoft pretty much admitted that.
Yeah. Pretty much, they have a lead that we cannot catch up to anymore. And I was like, that's kind of a crazy thing to admit.
Exactly. But it is what it is. But you know, I think both of them.
A killer app. They don't have a killer app.
Does Sony really though?
No, but Sony just had the advantage of good PR. Sony hasn't really killed it with a killer app either.
No.
But either if one of them comes out with a killer app, it would be very beneficial to them.
Oh yeah, and I'm not sure. I don't think Halo 5 is
No, because Halo is a tired franchise.
exactly like it would have to like there'd have to be a whole new thing to it. While I want to play Halo 5, there would have to be
There's nothing new
a
that
reinvention. Exactly.
Like unless they totally reinvent the game, kind of like the Devil May Cry games that Ninja Theory did for Capcom instead of Capcom Japanese people just doing it.
Exactly.
You'd have to reinvent the thing, and they're not going to do that. It's too sacred for all the Halo nerds.
Yep.
And on top of that, I know I mentioned Just Cause 3, and Polygon had a 40+ minute video up. I watched about 11-12 minutes of it, and I'm going to say this. Just Cause 2 was just awesome. It was a crazy fun. It was nonsensical. And if you want to just times that by 4, that's what Just Cause 3. It's not breaking any new grounds, but in terms of mechanics or gameplay. But it's completely taking advantage from the video I've seen of the new system's powers in terms of physics and in terms of destruction and graphics. It looks like so much fun, man. I'm actually really excited about it.
Yeah, I like the remaining games I have on my list for the third year. Surprisingly, Assassin's Creed Syndicate is on there. So Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Fallout 4, Just Cause 3, and a couple indie games. Like there's one called Blood Bowl 2 that I want to play. Like there's a few that I have on my Steam wish list that I got to get around to getting, but that's and none of these are like really. Well, I guess some people would call Assassin's Creed a huge release, but it's not a huge release to me anymore because I generally wait a year before I get the you know the latest Assassin's Creed. I don't know.
Do you watch TV? Do you have TV service?
Do I have TV service? Yeah.
I'm trying to gauge because I really haven't seen any kind of advertising for the new Assassin's Creed at all, really.
That's
Because I don't have TV, so I can't tell. But normally I can gauge something by billboards and whatnot. And the previous Assassin's Creed games had subway billboards, had bus billboards around New York City. The new one doesn't seem like they're doing a lot of marketing for it. Is there been a TV marketing campaign for them?
admittedly no. No, I haven't seen it.
I'm really curious, like where the marketing is for this game, because it surprised me. The only reason I knew the game came out was because of all the reviews coming out of nowhere. I was like, oh shit, this game's coming out.
I didn't even know it was coming out this month. I thought it always came out in November. Like
yeah, and that's the thing. Like there has been no promotion on this to make a consumer like myself, a gamer like myself, aware that it's coming out soon.
right.
The reviews come out on Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm going like, oh crap, this game comes out on Friday? What the hell?
Yeah.
Come from? So are they counting on word of mouth or what?
Maybe there's also not any co-op or multiplayer portion to this game at all.
Oh, that's cool, man. So they're not like it's not it's not one of those like, hey, people are gonna buy this because of the multiplayer stuff. So we don't need to invest into the story at all. So they're going all in on the story mode.
Yeah.
That gives me even better hope for this game now. Because normally companies like Activision or publishers like not publishers, developers like Treyarch or Infinity Ward, they'll pop out the Call of Duty games with minimal story because they know people usually just buy for the multiplayer, so they don't have to invest too much into the campaign, which is annoying.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So that's cool. I didn't know there was no multiplayer element to it. So,
but I mean, the multiplayer on Assassin's Creed has always been kind of different, like different enough to be interesting.
yeah, but if the company treats that as their cash cow, it's like, yeah, people are going to buy this game because of the multiplayer anyways.
But like I said, I'm really interested in this. I'm interested in this game now. Like I got to.
It would be cool to play Assassin's Creed, especially with these two main characters, the siblings, as a online co-op game.
It might be. I'm actually surprised they didn't make that option, but I don't know.
It'd be tricky because you would have to the engine would have to keep track of two different events going on. If you're like doing one part of the mission and the other person's doing the other part of the mission.
I hate that games have become so graphically intensive that a lot of things that's taken away from a lot of things like that. Like if you look up Divinity Original Sin,
yeah,
you can have two players like doing two different things in two different parts of the world, and this is a huge world, fighting two different battles or joining together. And this is a PC game it's still pretty, but not graphically intensive as, you know, that kind of thing. And I don't know. It's like, I hate it that as technology gets better, we lose some things. Like Halo 5. Another reason why I'm not big on Halo 5. Halo, one of the differentiating factors to Halo for me as an online gamer, or as a gamer period, was LAN play.
Yes.
You had LAN play, you had split screen play, and they have taken away both. Halo 5 has no split screen, has no LAN. If you want to play multiplayer, it's all online. Now, finally, they got around to only for the maps not being DLC, so everyone can so the community isn't separated, but still they took away one of the main things that made Halo different.
Yeah, because what Halo really thrived on was, hey, I have a couple friends over at my apartment. Let's play Halo. That's so rad. What are you going to do now? You have friends over like, hey, we can't forget Halo. And we're not going to think about this unless you get back to your apartment or your house, you know?
I mean, I think I made a lot of people play Halo because we had LAN parties and we played split screen. And everybody didn't have copies, and we were always playing it. So people would go buy Xboxes and go buy copies of Halo because of the LAN parties, and we were having so much fun. And I mean, to me, that's a bad Microsoft move again. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, and I understand why they did it. Where they said with the graphics they couldn't generate the graphics with split screen.
That's fine. Halo was not about the cutting edge graphics. Halo was a gameplay.
I understand that, but they could say, hey, we're going to include this feature in there. The graphics are just going to be a little dumbed down, but you'll still get the same effect. You know, we'll use less polygons and we'll use less particle effects. Shit, just do that. Find a sacrifice somewhere. People like playing together.
Exactly.
All right, if you want to bring anything up, any new stuff?
Not any new gaming stuff, but I'm gonna say on a side note, I hate you for introducing me back into comics. I am fully following comics again. You get on my nerves.
Yes. Did you buy a Kindle? I can't remember.
I haven't gotten one yet, but I mean, I've got like there's stuff I'm following now. So I'm doing Low, Concrete Park, Rat Queens, Black Science.
Oh, dude, Black Science I've been wanting to get into. I've heard of Concrete Park. I don't know what Low or Black Queens is.
Rat Queens.
Rat Queen.
And then there's like Marvel stuff. I'm not doing a lot, like just a little bit. Like they've got a new Ultimates coming out that I may check out. Man, you get on my nerves. Like the new Star Wars comics, like almost all of those have been good. So I'm buying the trade paperback to those. You get on my nerves.
Comixology just had a huge sale this past weekend for their sets. So it was like volume 1 of the Marvel Star Wars, volume 2. They had like 4 volumes of the Star Wars. So it's like a combination of 10 different comic books into one volume. And they were like $5 each.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff I have to buy, man, because like comics are $3.99, a piece now. So if I go to Amazon and find a trade paperback of volume 1 and it's $9, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
That's what I'm saying. You got to get a Kindle. The digital format, you get a much better deals on a comic.
Yeah,
much better deals than the print.
And I'm trying to figure out. You told me a 7-inch was too small. You said I need a 10.
The Kindle?
Yeah. What size screen is yours?
Mine's a regular 7. Whatever the small one is, the digital Kindle. Yeah, because I want it to fit in my pocket when I'm on the train, and it fits in my pocket, and it's really readable. So it's perfect.
I think I have one of those on my wish list, and like the new one that they came out with is like $50.
It's $59. Yeah.
So I'm getting one soon.
Yeah.
And it's Umair's. I'm looking it up right now, and it's Umair's fault. Every time I'm in a comic shop or on Amazon looking for comics, I'm like, man, I hate that dude.
Well, because Comixology is also owned by Amazon, so you get the benefit of that Comixology app on your Kindle. And it's perfect. I actually just bought Comixology had a huge sale for the Comic-Con that happened in New York, and I bought the whole set of 100 Bullets. What was the other? The Hellblazer series, which is the Constantine series. And I got the first 2 volumes of Injustice, the video game.
Yep.
But they have a graphic novel series, well, a comic book series for it. And I bought the first 2 volumes because the ratings on those were really good. So I'm curious about the story on that. And a friend of mine let me borrow all of Transmetropolitan. So yeah, it's good stuff, man. It's a good time killer.
Sure. But what the good thing about comics though is it inspires me to draw again, like I used to always do. So that's cool.
Yeah, I'm actually doing on Photoshop. I'm doing a Batman project, just for the hell of it, because I'm still reading that Batman book, No Man's Land.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I'm all on this guy. Batman is like the coolest fucking character in comic books. Yeah, there's some awesome characters out there, but the book really goes into his psyche and his just calm and coolness, and it's just like, I got everything figured out mentality. I was like, this guy is a badass. And so I'm all in on the Batman thing. I'm scouring on Comixology every time they announce a sale, if there's like a new graphic novel for Batman on sale. I'm gonna own all of them one day. I will be you, Batman.
You got issues. But yeah, man, that's all I had.
No games, nothing you saw that sparked your fancy?
Besides the stuff we talked about, we're almost into the next year, so hopefully soon I'll be talking about Ghost Recon Wildlands and The Division. Hopefully the
dude, Wildlands, I forgot about that. And The Division, I'm still on it, but I'm just tired of waiting now. It's been, what, 3 years now?
I just hope they don't crap out like Destiny. But admittedly, when I played Destiny, I could tell I wasn't going to like Destiny when I played the alpha or beta. I was like, this is going to be run of the mill. There's nothing new to it. It's just going to be an MMO on consoles. And pretty much that's what it became.
So Fallout 4, are you doing that on PC or PS4?
What's funny is Sarah is heavily into Fallout, so I will have it on PC, but I will also have it on PS4 so she can play it. So I've got a Vita TV in the living room, so she's gonna play on my PS4 from the living room for Fallout 4, and I'll be playing it in the game room on my PC.
Okay. Did you upgrade your PC?
I haven't upgraded it yet, but hopefully I'm about to. But I think it can still run it from the settings I saw at the middle settings. But probably when I upgrade my PC, hopefully in a few months, I'll just copy my save, and re-download the game and resume.
Cool, man. That's all I have.
Me too.
All right. Cool Johnson.
Cool Johnson. Oh yeah. Side note. So